Hi friends, this is Ganesh and video number 14 on enhancements. So after my enhancement videos, I have received few comments saying that what happens after the enhancement, what is the role of a technical developer and what is the usage of SPDD, SPAU transaction, especially for the upgrade process. So I decided to go with a separate video to explain, especially for the enhancement, what will happen or what is the process of the upgrade, especially in the enhancement point of view. So I will explain very basic design of upgrade for any product and what is the expectation of the customer. Then we'll get into the documentation of SAP saying what actually they are saying. As a product, we should know the documentation of the product. So what SAP is saying about enhancement in the upgrade process. Then we'll go a little bit about the system and we'll see how the transactions, or they call it as tools, upgrade tools, these two transactions, and how it helps the customer or the people who are working on the customer side in the upgrade process. So everything will see one by one in the system today. And yeah, that is another point we'll see once I get into the system. Let's get into the slide. So first thing, consider there is a product and the company has just bought the product and they want to, they are actually feeding all the business data to make sure the business is running perfectly on the product. Okay. So for that, they have to add some custom modification. As you know, product gives a generic solutions, so they can't give a solution for each customer. Okay, so that's why they provided an option called enhancement. So get the product, and this product supports 80% of your business. So the remaining 20% you feel this products to be updated, so you don't want to come back and ask them to update. You just go ahead with your own technical consultancy, you own with your developers. Okay, so that is the reason the enhancements comes in the picture. So after getting the product based on the business requirement, with the help of their own team, they might add some enhancement. These blue dots are considered as a custom enhancement. They have added it, and now the product supports 100% for the customer business. Then after some times, you know about there is a product, it always has a latest version. There may be an upgrade version of a product. So if there's an upgrade version, so here the example is I just use with 4.7 and ACC 6. It might be the version might be different, depends on your how the customer is decided to go forward. So here I just used 4.7 to 6 ACC 6, and this is from the product perspective. They have added one more transaction in their design, and they have splitted the transaction or a screen into two. Okay, a simple example for you. So the idea behind us, if there is an upgrade, always there is a change in the existing object. The object may be a program or maybe a screen or maybe a table structure, whatever it is. Okay, depends on the business need. In the product company might come with a different design. Okay, and the expectation from the client is, even though if there is an upgraded version of the product, my expectation, the client expectation is I want all my custom development to be in place, then only my business or my business will run even in the upgrade version. That is the expectation of the customer, most of the customers. So, and the product company also try to achieve this particular area. So after upgrade also make sure all the custom developments ought to be in a place. Okay. Um, it's very difficult from both the perspective, and product company also they are trying to reach, but they're not going to achieve this as 100%. That is the reason they just come with a different criteria. Like example, if you take an SAP, they started with the user exit, then they come with the customer exit, then they come with the concept called enhancement framework. So these are giving more flexible to the customers. Okay, so now what happens after upgrade, there may be a chance of missing some enhancements, and there is an enhancement, but that is not an active state. So you know about an SAP, the object is not active, that is not going to be called, or is not going to work perfectly as for the compared to the previous versions. Okay, so there may be a chance of deleting some custom modifications and make some custom modification to an inactive state. That might happen in all the upgrade process. So here, this is the understanding of upgrade. So if you do upgrade, there may be a chance of taking out the existing custom developments, custom enhancement, not developments. And we are talking only the enhancement area, custom enhancements, because that is actually attached with standard programs, right? Standard objects. All the enhancements are attached with the standard object. So there may be a chance of only the enhancement development. Here, the question is how we are going to figure it out. Okay, so this is the normal process. Every upgrade, there may be a chance, okay, of delete, no, it's not available, I can say. Either it might delete from the particular standard program, or it may be in inactive state. So now, before going to how we can do this, how we can achieve this gap, how we can take care of this process, I will show you the documentation of the product. There is a product, they have very clearly documented what happened after the enhancement. Okay, I will show you the documentation of SAP about the enhancement in upgrade process. Before that, there are two classifications, because in a documentation they mentioned two classifications. I want to make sure before reaching the documentation, these two things. One is modifications. So modifications, SAP define modification is nothing but those modifications are saved in a SAP package. It's not in a custom package. Okay. So you can easily identify user exit is in the form of a program, and it's in the design of subroutine. So subroutine is mapped with standard programs. So standard programs are saved in a SAP package. If you take a customer exit, maybe a form exit, function module exit. So function module is a standard function module, start with exit. That is also saved in the SAP package. Screen exit, screen has associated with standard screen programs, and standard programs are associated with SAP package. Same for menu exit also. And if you take enhancements, okay, so enhancement spot, and it has different bodies, and different bodies has its different body implementations. So if you take any body implementations, maybe a customer function or a screen or menu, whatever it is, those are going to be saved. The implementations are to be start with Z, and those are to be saved in a custom namespace only. Okay, so these are the two classifications. Either the object is associated with the standard package, or an object is associated with the custom package. So this plays a major role in the upgrade. Okay, so now you are very clear about the classification. I will take you to the SAP documentations now. This is a documentation shows, okay, better I will show you in a Chrome as well. So not, this is just a PPT, right? I will show you in the SAP help itself. So this is from saphelp.sap.com. So they mention very clearly about the enhancement, especially in the upgrade. So the basic advantage of enhancement over modifications. Okay, this is just a definition. So you know about the who's and all, right? So it's nothing, enhancement options, nothing but who you can add whatever implementation or enhancements you want. So here they mention very clearly, enhancement results in far less work during an upgrade compared to modifications. Okay, so you know what is modification and what is enhancements. Okay, so enhancements like body and everything. So enhancements are transport objects, correct, in their own right, that can be stored in package of their own, meaning those enhancements are going to be, implementations are going to be stored in a custom package, unlike modifications, because modifications are saved in the SAP package only. So which are part of object, they modify. Since during an upgrade, all SAP objects are replaced by a new version of this object, definitely yes, because all SAP objects is nothing but standard objects are going to be replaced with a new version, with the new objects also. And after the upgrade, all modifications are gone, meaning what are the objects as coming under SAP package, those modifications are gone. So the results in customer having to adjust all modification, no matter whether it's underlining the object has changed or not. Even if the object is not changed, you have to redo all your modifications. So Modifications under we have user exit and customer exit. And in contrast, if you come to the enhancement, customer enhancements as transport objects are never overwritten during an upgrade because they are stored in the customer package and in the customer namespace Z or Y. So upgrade never disturb the customer package because it's not belongs to them and is not in their namespace, their landscape also, right? They have only their own SAP product, so SAP objects. And it may happen that a new version of a development object is no longer compatible with the enhancement, meaning so here also they're not saying 100% your enhancements are not disturbed. No, there may be a chance of your enhancement also to be disturbed in the upgrade process when if the enhancement object is deleted or a data type used in the enhancement does no longer exist. So in the new version, there may be a chance of deleting the enhancement spot, or there may be a chance of removing some of the baddie under the enhancement spot. One enhancement spot have 10 baddies. In the new version, they have only 8 baddies. So the existing 2 baddies, the older version baddies and implementations also to be deleted. It's not no longer valid. And if there is any new syntax came, that time also is not going to be, that particular statement is not going to be valid. Okay, so syntax is not only for enhancement, it's generally open for any programs. Anywhere if you use particular syntax is no longer valid, we have to adjust it. So there is a chance of adjusting your enhancement also, but there are some possibilities if it is object is deleted or if it is changed in the what do you call data type used. So in this case, what they are saying is we provide a relevant tools of an enhancement framework provided the information. So that relevant tools is nothing but a transaction. It gives an overview of the object, what needs to be done. So maybe you can say some contract information is missing or enhancement spot got deleted. Then as a business or as a technical and functional consultant, we have to come with a solution. So how we can re-implement it with a new version of your system, new version of your SAP also. And enhancement have to be adjusted and offer tool support to do so. So that's where SPDD and SAP AU comes into the picture. And final conclusion is, after an upgrade, customers still have to adjust enhancement, but these are only enhancement that no longer compatible with the newer version of the object. And but have to touch every single modification in a system. Yeah, it's a dot in a system. So modification, they have every modification they have to touch, means make sure it's working fine compared with the older and newer version. And so enhancements are far more robust during upgrade. So the answer for the question is always the enhancement is more comfortable in the upgrade process compared to the modifications. Okay, so whenever you get a chance of doing an enhancement, so now the hierarchy is going to always the enhancement framework. If nothing works in the enhancement framework, then go with the modifications is nothing but user exit or customer exit. Okay, so hope you will get a clarity now about the enhancement, what happens in the upgrade process, whether it's deleted or not. So normally no, either any new version is not going to delete anything, like especially in the customer namespace I'm talking about. Okay, so in that case we need to adjust, we need to activate, reactivate and everything. So that is a way where we are going to work more on the tools, the two different transactions. Okay, so upgrade is a little bigger process, we have to compare it and we have to do it. Okay, so hope this documentation will help you. Just go like enhancement concept in SAP, upgrade concept in SAP, you will get this page. Okay, so the same thing what I have showed you, I just copied and pasted here. Nothing big. Then type of object, normally what we enhanced is it could be a data dictionary objects or it could be a screen, programs, function module, classes. I'm talking about source. So which SAP standard object we normally do an enhancement. So these are the a few things just for your reference. And yeah, transport request might be you might involve in an upgrade process, might aware of it. Otherwise, normally, so how the upgrade starts? I have a 4.7. They install the few like technical objects I'm talking about. So they installed the new version on the existing one, and they started compare between the old and new. So what is missing, what needs to be done, and everything. So in that level, normally they create one main task, transport request, and each developer probably have a different task request. So they have whatever fixes they are doing, especially in the upgrade. So that is everything's going in under the one single main task. So that is the basic design normally we follow. Sometimes you may have different transport. It's not like you have multiple transport, multiple main transport. Normally you have very few main transport, but you have a lot of task transport. Okay, so all the upgrade activities, fixes, everything is going into that under the main transport. Okay, so that's what I want to just give us few reference about transport request over here. And yeah, the tools what the SAP calls or transactions is playing a major role in the upgrade process. So the upgrade starts, I have a older version 4.7, and with the help of bases and security people, they implement a newer version, probably in a sandbox system or in a development server. And then they started comparative, like technical objects. We started comparing with older version and new versions. And if you take enhancements, so we are going to do the same thing. And this is the overall transaction tools. Is not only for enhancements. So if you take the first tool, SPDD, it has all the dictionary objects. Could be a table or a structure or a table type. So we have to do a comparison, and that SPDD is a transaction. I'll show you in the system as well. Once you run the transaction, it's listed all the objects which needs to be taken care. Okay, so they have three different status, I can say. One is processed successfully, it comes in a green, and yellow, it's not processed, it needs some manual, or it sometimes SAP itself, product itself can accommodate, can able to adjust the object. And a red is it's an error, so we need some, that means it needs some manual intervention, so we have to work it out what needs to be done. Because, excuse me, one of the red scenario is enhancement spot might delete it. There is a baddie implementation, but the baddie is not available in the newer version. So then you have to take a call how you're going to achieve it. So there are three different, and there is one more color also, gray. So we have different colors of it, reflects what the status of the object. And SPAU is the another tool or a transaction, non-dictionary objects. So it has the programs, screens, function modules, classes, enhancements also, baddies, baddie implementation. So everything is coming under SPAU transactions. Okay. So the basic idea of this tool is it will compare the objects between the previous and the new version. Then it will come with a list saying that these are the objects needs to be taken care. Now the call is on the people who are working on the client side. It could be a functional and also a technical people. They have to decide whether this older version I have list of, for an example, 10 implementations or for a particular module, particular transactions, and the newer version says out of 10, 6 is fine, we are able to adapt with the newer versions, and 4 is not able to adapt. So it might be like enhancement spot itself not available, or it might be some newer data type is changed. So as a consultant who are working on the business side, they have to take a call. Yes, out of 4, I need all the 4 to be in newer version also. Take a call and modify as it whatever is required. Sometimes we have to change the data type because it's not at all no longer exists in the newer version. So as a technical, we have to change the data type of the particular field. Or if the enhancement spot itself not available, then we need to figure out how we can adapt this particular business change in a transaction. Because baddie is not available, but we have implementation that also needs to be added in the newer version. So we need to figure out which implementation, which baddie is going to support the same functionality in the newer system. So those kind of discussions we have to do, and we have to come with a plan for the last 4 objects which is not suitable for the newer versions. And then same thing for SAP AU as well. So this is the way we have to work it out and figure out it for the object. Here I am saying 10 objects, but in real time you'll have hundreds of objects because every module has its own custom modifications. Okay, so those things we have to just taken care, and we have one more tool as well. So SAP AU underscore ENH, especially for enhancements. I'm not sure from which version onwards this tool or transaction is available, but there is a one more also SAP AU underscore ENH. And there are two options once you start working with these two transactions, SPDD, SPAU. So what do you want? Adapt changes, reset to original. So take the same 10 objects examples. So 6 are good, 4. Okay. So if you take 4 out of 4, sometimes we might think, okay, this particular modification is no longer needed for the business. So what we can do is we can adapt, we can reset to original. Like, we don't want this implementation in a place, so we just leave as it is. Whatever the newer version has, it doesn't have a spot or body, just let it be. So in that is the case, what you can do is you can go reset to original. Okay, I don't want this implementation to be in my newer version. Or you can use an option called adapt changes. So adapt changes means, no, I want my implementation, what are the functionalities, that is also to be part of the newer version. So what you can do is you can say no, adapt changes. Then you have to try to adapt or try to enhance the changes, the functionalities as per your need. So these are the two options you have to perform either in SPDD or SPAU transactions. Okay, and anything else? No. So that's it. I will go to my system and show some run through SPDD and SPAU transaction. And one more I would have added here is SAP Notes. So that is also plays a major role in the upgrade process. Sometimes the note, whatever changes or available in the note is part of the upgrade with the newer version. So those things already come to the picture. Sometimes it's not. So same way how you're classifying your enhancements, same way you have to do your notes as well, SAP notes as well. Whether this note is already available in newer version, ignore it. Sometimes it's not available, we have to implement it. Sometimes it's not relevant for the newer version, we have to ignore it and we have to find a solution what other notes are available to update in the newer version. So that is also you have to take care. And I'm not able to show you very big examples here. The reason behind is I'm not in an upgrade process, just a rental system. I don't have any much object, but I have few objects I'm trying to show you with that, with adapt changes and other options as well. Reset to original. Okay, let me take you to the system. So this is my system and it's ECC. I will just go through the few transactions, SAP DD and SAP AU. Hopefully I don't find any objects and SPDD, sorry, not SAP, SPDD transactions. And this transaction is going to give a list of the objects or dictionary objects where it needs to be corrected, or it is okay, which way it needs to be corrected. So this transaction is given list needs to be corrected. Okay, so no doubt at all. In that it gives some status like green, yellow, gray, red, delete indicator. So it gives some inputs for a technical consultant what needs to be done for this object in the next step. If it is a green, if that is 100% ready for automatic adjustments, excuse me, and if it is a yellow, it probably need manual adjustments, or sometimes it might work for automatic adjustments as well. And if it is a red, it definitely need manual intervention. And then gray is, it's also, sometimes it's gray is actually absolute, so it's not recommended to do it, but still if you want to do it, you can do that. And delete indicator, the probably that object might deleted compared to the new version. So these are the status which gives a proper idea of every individual object. So what needs to be done after the upgrade process. There's a comparison of previous versions and your new version. So once the upgrade version is installed in your sandbox on dev, these steps needs to be done from our end. Sometimes we have a third-party tools where that also works together with both versions, and it will give a proper indication what needs to be done. and many clients, they are using a third-party system, and even this tool, the SAP built-in tool, also will help to make the upgrade process very successful. Okay, and probably I started this video for enhancement, and I just added a few points about like other objects as well, dictionary objects, and notes actually plays a major role. And SPAU transaction will give a list of all non dictionary objects. So it includes programs, nodes, SAP nodes, screens, function module, classes, whatever is applicable for the change. So that give everything. So we have to take a action. We have to analyze what needs to be done, and either it needs to be in the original position or original shape, or that needs to be adapted with our changes. So that also we have to make a decision with the help of functional consultant as well as the business need. Okay, so this is SPDD, and if I execute, probably I tried, actually I don't have much object to show you. If it is an object, it just show you in that color like green, red, and yellow as well. And you can just take once you select the object, you can proceed further with adapt the changes or reset to original. And if I go to SPAU, I have few things. SPAU, right, and this screen might probably depends on the versions. If I run this in HANA, it gives a different version, different screen, and different options. Okay, so now I'm in ECC system, and here I have an option called with modification assistant and without modification assistant. And here I have a few objects, a few body implementations, and one is tick mark. It shows it's processed. Okay, actually it's processed by me manually, so that's why it's giving a tick mark over here. These are the list of objects needs to be taken care after the new version as installed in your system. And is a green, it's 100% mostly I can say automatically it can be adjusted, but it needs to be adjusted. Okay, there is no doubt, whatever is you are seeing in this particular transaction, those object needs to be adjusted. So but green shows very clearly, so automatically it will adjust. So I'm going to adjust this one. So select this option, select this object, and go to modification, reset original, and adapt modification. These objects are not done by me, so that is the reason I'm not going to use reset to original, because it might affect their training or learning purpose. So I'm going to use adapt modification. So I want the modification to be included in my new version as well. So I'm go with this option and adapt modification. Then it will give us some pop-up, some information for you. This BAPI implementation and name of the implementation will be migrated automatically. So just say okay, please continue, and implementation will be migrated. Continue, and you will get a okay. This is nothing but you know about bad implementation steps, right? So you need a enhancement implementation, and then you need a bad implementation. So here it lists out all the enhancement implementation part. You can either choose if you have already created it, or you can create your own as well. So I'm creating an enhancement implementation. That is the first step to create any bad implementation. You know the relationship as well, right? So enhancement implementation is ZJ enhancement implementation. Okay, upgrade, I can upgrade enhancement implementation. Continue. So it is done. Probably it should be any of the package, but I just prefer to go with local object. It's fine. So that's good. And continue. Select this and continue. Then it'll go and do the bad implement. This is a bad implementation. Okay, it's a bad implementation. So the names and everything is ready in place. So it's done, and you'll get a tick mark. So this is a way to adjust your object with the help of these transactions, SAP GD or SAP AU. Okay, if it is a green, we are very happy because it's automatically adjust. If it is a yellow and red and deleted a logo or I can say icon, then the technical people time may be little more to try to adjust based on the business scenario. It should not affect any other scenarios, so it needs some testing process. So upgrade is a little more work from the technical and functional consultant work perspective. So this is from SAP U transactions, and we have SAP AU underscore enhancement. It shows mostly enhancements related objects, enhancement, implementation, and implicit, explicit, those things. SAP AU underscore ENH. Excuse me. Yep, so you have composite enhancement implementation. So most of this composite or standard, you can see that, but you're not able to do it because you need access key if you want to modify anything. Probably, so this shows red. Okay, let me go here because you'll get see the combinations of status of the object, especially in the custom one. So it's easy for us to implement. Here you can see these are yellow. It needs sometimes it need manual as well as automatic adjustments, and green, so automatic adjustments, and this is absolute better. Don't do that. And if so, in some cases we required, we have to do it. And anything else, yeah, here it is red and deleted. So this is actually deleted. So let's start from the green one. Probably I'll use this. So this is actually a description. So you can see what is the description. Otherwise, you'll be able to see over here. So this is one of the implementation they tried and it's not adjust. And here they just change before enhancement implementation, and you can see the conflict. It will give some more details about this object, where it's actually gets used, and those informations are available. Current versions where exactly this enhancement is getting used. Okay. So those informations are available, and you can make it in a change mode. And once you're in a change mode, you will get the adjust, excuse me, what is that? Adjust enhancement implementation. Okay, so this is automatic. So I'm trying to do that. Just click adjust enhancement implementation. It shows an enhancement is adjust, and you're able to see active revised. Okay, and just here the name you remember zhr underscore cloud. If I activate it, it should go out of from this list, because this tool or transaction is only list out what are the objects to be adjusted. Once it is automatically adjust the status, also you can see it's adjust, then automatically it should remove from the list. So I'm going to activate it. Yet obviously it needs to be added in a transport. Continue. It's gone from here. Okay, so the object adjusts perfectly. So this is not enough, we have to test it. So depends on this particular object, we have some listed scenarios. Those are already taken care from the functional people or business people. So we have to make sure after adjust a particular object where all the dependent scenarios are working fine in your sandbox, development and quality. Obviously then it will go to production. Okay. And if you take the other one which has yellow, let's see what is there. Try to adjust automatically, then see interface method is not implemented. Hopefully this might not comfortable or compatible for adjust enhancement implementation, automatic adjustments, I feel, because it needs to be created manually, right? So let me go to, this is in display mode, change mode. Excuse me. Okay, so interface method is not implemented. So what is a conflict? So go to the conflict. Sometimes it shows what are the methods to be implemented. Okay. Non-implemented interface method. So what is that? 1 second. So there are two methods to be implemented. Okay, so non-implemented interface methods. Okay, let's try the automatic adjustments. Let's see how it behaves. Let's try adjustment, enhancement, implementation. So enhancement is not automatically adjustable because it's an yellow, but still I'm trying whether it can be done using automatic adjustment. So it's not possible. Okay, continue. Then I have to do manually. So go down. There is an option to implement. Sorry, my screens are, yeah. So you have an option. If you feel, okay, out of one, I don't want other implementation, you can delete, or if you want to implement both, you can do with implement option. Okay. So non-implementer interface method. And remember this MRS, DP or ENH implementation. Okay. Because once it's activated, once it's done, it automatically should go out of this list. Okay. Let me do implementation. Implement. So interface method was not implemented. You want to create implementation? Yes. So these are same. It depends on the object. It will automatically take you to the particular transaction. If it is a program, it will ask you to go to SE38. It will function model SE37. Same thing. If it is body, it will go to its corresponding relevant transaction, and we can do the steps. I'm go with the empty implementation time being. I don't want to add anything. If it is real time, we have to add actually what is the compare with the previous version. What are the code is there? You have to copy and paste it over here. Okay. So it's done, and still it's there because it's still in yellow. I believe one more method also there. So I'm going back. Yes, conflict. Come down. So now it shows only one method to be implemented. So I'll just go with implement. Sorry. Okay, let's try this way. Okay, I don't want to delete it. You can try because I'm not sure who's actually implement this. So let me implement it. You can try with delete also. It just remove the delete the method implementation, not the actual one source. Just remove the implementation. Okay, and act toward it. ENH implementation as a name. Okay, so now the status got changed. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let me activate this. Oh, sorry, I checked it. Okay, let me activate this. So object. Okay, so here you have a history, one more option. So adjustments is LO and it's got done. I'm sorry. Okay, this is actually previous one, and after that some upgrade happened in the system, and this is a current version. Okay, I got it. So log data, then let me activate it. Okay, just double click here because it needs to be refreshed. Yeah, it's a kind of refresh. I just went out of this body implementation and just I came back, so it's in active state. Okay, let me refresh this. Yeah, that's gone. So this is the one actually that is gone from the list. Okay, so this is for yellow, and sometimes red. Normally red takes more time to adjust. So this is a way you have to adjust all the needed objects after the upgrades happens. So end contract information is missing, and you can see what is there, and you can start working on it. You can just create information, relevant information, whatever is required for your enhancement implementations. And if it is a delete, because it takes some time, so I don't want to waste your time over here. And here there is another option. It's got deleted. Reason behind us, maybe the previous version we used this particular implementation for a definition, and the newer version SAP decided this is only for SAP side, not for a customer one. If that is the case, they probably delete this particular implementation. So the option would be we have to identify the relevant body definition in the newer version of your SAP, and you have to implement it. Okay, so this is a way we have to play around with all the objects which needs manual or automatic, whatever it is, it needs attention after upgrade happens. So hope you get some idea about this. Once upgrade happens, It's not going to delete anything your customer namespace especially, but if it is a SAP namespace, obviously it gets deleted, user exit kind of. Then you have to copy paste with older version still you have, so you have to take the particular code and you have to find the place where we can adapt and you have to do it again. So that is the classification given by SAP: modification and enhancement. So the answer for most of, so that is the one question always. So which is best for upgrade? Always enhancement, the object which stores in customer namespace, okay, not the modification. So that what the definition it's given from SAP documentation. Clear? So just play around, and if you need any doubt, if you need any clarification, if you have any doubts, please let me know. And thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next video. Bye.